Hi guys, welcome back to Cheney's TCG store. Today I have a quick market watch for you. I'm going to go over some buyouts that I've noticed on the market. For the most part, it looks like the market has kind of cooled down since yesterday. We have been seeing a bunch of price spikes recently, so it's nice to see that things are cooling off as a whole. Of course, there are a couple of areas that are seeing a lot of price action, but we'll go over the few that I've seen. So first, Hot Red Dragonarching King Calamity. I know I've talked about this a lot recently. Now I have the lowest listing here for first edition at 13 bucks. You know, this was going for like 75 cents to $1 when I talked about it like a week ago. And even yesterday, I think it was like $4 for like a near mint first edition. But if you pick these up, I would go ahead and list them up. Maybe for like $8 to $13, wherever you're comfortable selling them. But just crazy that got bought out so quickly. Next, I wanted to cover Tatsunokuro. So there hasn't been Tatsunoko, sorry, not Tatsunokuro. That's a completely different card. This hasn't moved, but I just wanted to cover this because I think it's a good pickup. I picked up a copy yesterday, just personally. You can pick up multiple of these if you want to invest into it, but relatively cheap right now. So it's $2 for a near mint first edition. And you can find unlims here for like $1.30 as well for the Clash of Rebellions. I would recommend just going for the first edition because this card is getting older now anyways. But I just think it's really undervalued, especially since it's a tuner. So if you wanted to tag out your Hulk for this and then synchro summon using a monster in your hand, it's just really good. You can also use monsters on your field as well, but if you wanted to cover the difference with something in hand, you could. I just think it has some applications and potential down the line. I think right now it might not be the best. There's better cards that you can tag out into, but you just never know if this will come up. But I guess we'll have to see. But relatively low risk here for a good-looking secret rare. I just wanted to point that out. Next, I wanted to cover Salamangreat. So pretty much everything from the structure deck has gone up in price quite a bit recently. And this is mainly due to Salamangreat getting a couple tops over the weekend. But right now, the Balinx is $8 here for near mint, $6 here for lightly played. Circle is $2.50 for a super. Spinny is $3.50 going on $4 or $2.50 going on $4 shortly. Almirage still not too bad. Let's do it this way. Let's organize it high to low. I thought best selling might be the best, but I kind of just want to see how everything is doing. So the Starlight Rare is like $81. I'm like surprised that this isn't more expensive, not because it's that great, just because it is a salad card. These are going for like $11, which honestly isn't too bad. I did pick this card up a while ago when it was like $4 or $5, but I ended up selling it when it like had a spike to 15. But I might re-pick it up because I have the ultra rare currently, and the secret rare just looks so good that I just missed playing it. Balinx is $8 now. Actually, that cheap copy is gone. Spinning is still the same here. Circle is still $3. Rage from OTS pack 12 is $3. Honestly, that's not really that bad, to be honest with you, because it is a tournament pack super, and this card is like really good for Salamangreat. Foxy at $4. I know I have a few of these. I'm going to dig them out and sell them. The secret rare Phoenix is $2. If you want this, I think that's perfectly fine to pay for it. Not a bad card to have. Jack Jaguar, $2. I mean, honestly, if you can go find these OTS super rares, I would get them for $2. So that's really good. I'm surprised this isn't like $8 to $10 now, because usually if a super rare from an OTS pack, especially one this old, sees any play, they just spike like crazy. Dual Overload, $2 here for the Almirage. I think that's mainly it. I don't think there's too much more here. Okay, so even the common rages from the structure deck are like $1. That's insane. Roar, $1, also really good card. I think that's mainly it. Heatleo at 86 cents. I mean, honestly, you might want to grab one or two of those as well, being a prismatic secret. And that's mainly everything that's kind of spiked in price for Salad. It's still a super affordable deck. Next is No Material. So this is not really doing that much either. It has gone up steadily for like the last month or so. But you can get a lightly played here for 467. And then lightly played first edition 675. There's a playset here, which is actually pretty good price, going up to 7. And then if we look at near mints, it's $8, but there's quite a stack here at 17. And then you go up towards 10. I think that this card has a lot of potential. Is it good right now? I don't think so. But regardless, it's still a first edition secret hand trap. You might just want to have this in general. The artwork looks pretty cool. Dark Neostorm's getting older now, and believe it or not, this card is actually pretty good. It's just a problem if you like draw this later on in the game, but if you open up with this card going second, it's pretty good. So maybe it's like a side in card for going second, not a bad option. Like I said, I probably wouldn't go that route right now. But with that said, it's just a good card to have, even if you just want to get the ultra rares. But I would say go with the secret rare if you can. Oh, and How the Mighty Have Fallen. Ghost Reaper and Winter Cherries here, $18 for the original print, first edition lightly played. Near mint, I looked, it's like 23 bucks. This was going for like $45 to $55 for near mint first edition. Even the lightly plays were up there in like in the 40s. And I said, you know, if you have these, sell them. And hopefully you did, because I know a lot of people were like, you're wrong, they're going to continue to go up. And maybe they will over time, but not right now. This card, like I said, is just not good, as good in application as it seems. And I think part of the reason is because people have pretty diverse extra decks right now, like especially since Verte is gone. This had a lot better power levels with Verte in the game, but right now, like if you hit something in Branded Despia, like most of the time you're playing 2 of, so it doesn't really hurt that bad. Let me see. Does it actually banish all copies? I can't remember now. Maybe it is. You banish all copies. Okay, so it is all cards in their extra deck. But to be honest, even if you do, let's say like you hit Guardian Chimera. Okay, they can't use Guardian Chimera. They still have Mirror Jade. They still have Masquerade. Like it's not a game ender. Like does it hurt? Yes, a little bit, but I don't think it's a game ender. I just can't think of any decks right now where this would hit like a card and then just absolutely cripple it. At least not like a tier 1 deck at least. But if you can think of an application that would just cripple a tier 1 deck, let me know. I mean, obviously like hitting Hulk or something in some decks would be pretty good. But I think even those decks are synchro based decks, like say Sword Soul, so they don't really they can get around playing Hulk. It's not that big of a deal. But oh yeah, let's go look at the other copies, because the other secret rare is $8, which I know was in the 20s. Yep, so what the hell? There's a 78-cent copy. Is that real? Okay, I'm actually gonna buy this. I'm just gonna clear this out of my cart. If y'all want it, go get it. That's a really good deal, actually. For 78 cents, it's definitely worth it. All right, I removed it from my cart, so I didn't just scam you. Ghost Reaper, let's go back. I think because if you look at the next lowest listing, it's like $8. So if you just want to buy that and flip it, you make $7 basically, minus fees. Let's actually just take a look at the card though. I mean, I can't believe it's fallen out that much. There's no way it's down to $1. Okay, so you have that one copy here. Man, I wish he had a stack, because I would go in on that. $4 here for light play first edition. I mean, this is down quite a bit here. Near mint, $4. Was it in the 20s? I feel like it was. It says like a $12, so maybe not 20s. Let's see where they've been selling though. This was kind of a little bit back now. This doesn't go that far back, but I guess $10. I think it was more so in April when it was. When was this? And I guess it was early May. But yeah, it was definitely above $10. But that's crazy to see it's fallen down so much. Mainly the first edition secret rares, like the original print. Those are the ones that have fallen out by like like 50% or something like that, something crazy, maybe even more. Pot of Extravagance. I wanted to cover this because these have gotten really, really cheap. The original printing, it's not really going to be affected. It was like 25 before the reprint, like maybe 20, maybe like 30 actually, 30 to 40. I think. So it's 15 for Unlim. First edition. I mean, I don't think the first editions are going to get hit that hard by a reprint. 23 for Lightly Played, Near Mint 23. But let's look at the actual 6-month breakdown before this reprint. Around 35 bucks. So yeah, it's gotten hit about $10, but that's not too bad, all things considered. What really got hit hard was actually the Prismatic Secret Rare and the Ultra Rare. Ultra Rare is now $7. If you want to go get these, it's a good time to get them. These are $9 as well. I would actually advise you get these over these. But this is the lowest price point. We won't see it this low again. Definitely not. The gold rares are also like $3, but you know, do you really want to play gold rare? And then if you just want to get the commons, they're $2. I think any one of these versions, there's still overall only 1, 2, 3, 4 printing, no, 5 printing, sorry. Which is still relatively low if you like compare that to something like Pot of Desires. And you can see how Pot of Desires right now, like the secret rare is like $35, and you can only play it at 2, whereas this is only at 23, and this is probably better right now currently. Maybe not. I could be wrong on that. But let's actually look. I think is there a higher rarity of Pot of Extravagance? I thought there was a collector's rare. Yeah, there is. I think it's in Toon Chaos. This wouldn't really get hit as much. If you're going to buy a collector's rare pot card, though, this is the one that you'd want to go for because it doesn't have an ultimate rare reprint. Not to say that it won't, but I think honestly, if you're looking at Konami, like what they would, if they're going to do another pot card in an OTS pack, I would think they would go for Prosperity because that's a huge way to cash in. Not that they make any kind of money off it except for by selling products, which, you know, like the OTS stores maybe selling more products, but they get more people interested in the game, which means more people are going to be spending money on cards. So kind of indirectly influencing sales, but Lightly Played Unlimited 97. I imagine first edition is probably gonna be 150. Yeah, I don't know about that actually. I don't know that I would spend 150 on a collector rare pot card. It doesn't seem worth it. I would be a lot more comfortable paying like 110 for the collector rare first edition. Just because if you look at like Pot of Desires, the ultimate rare right now is like 85. Even when it was at 3 copies, it was $100, and I just consider that a lot harder to get and higher rarity. So it doesn't make too much sense there, but let me know if I'm wrong. You know, not always right with these things. But next is Allure of Darkness. A couple of copies here. And the reason I wanted to cover this card specifically is because I've noticed a lot of Despia deck list in like the Top Cut in the last weekend tournaments. We're playing this at 3 copies, which makes sense because all of your cards are dark, basically. Like you have a couple of 1-ofs that aren't, but the majority of your cards are dark in your main deck. So you can kind of cycle through your deck to get to your Branded Fusion or your Aliber or whatever you need, which is pretty good. But the Speed Duel Tournament Pack Ultra Rare is $50. I think this is this which tournament pack? Tournament Pack 3. I think they just re-waived these, honestly, because so if you look at 1 year, I guess these just don't really sell too often. $50 is pretty expensive, but I would stay away from this because you have an ultimate rare that you would rather spend your money on that to begin with. But you also have the original ultra rare, which is much cheaper. Let's look at original first edition ultra rares, but I think you can get probably like 2 copies for the price of one of those ultra rares. I'm surprised these haven't like gone up more in price. Okay, yeah, these are 25 for light play here. Near Mint's probably going to be quite a bit of money though, because Phantom Darkness is really old now. 45 for Near Mint. Stay away from that. Just get the lightly played if you wanted to go first edition route here. But If you were going to go unlim, I would say skip the unlim, like either get a lightly played first edition or just don't get this version of the card. Because you do have, are these out of stock? Oh, it's because I have a first edition. Okay, I wanted to check the super rare copies because those actually look pretty good as well. Let's see what those are going for. Speed duel, like just stay away from that unless you want to play this card in speed duels, because I think this is probably the only other copy you could play besides the ultra rare. That's probably why it's so expensive. But the super rare is going for $2.27, or really $1.79 here, which is really not bad. It's Raging Battle, so it's really, really old. It actually does come with a first edition stamp, maybe, or maybe that's just a rewaved picture here that they're using. I cannot tell. I don't think it would have a first edition stamp. Let's see what this looks like. Maybe this will tell us. Near mints are like $4 though. Yeah, this definitely says limited edition. These look really, really clean though, honestly. This might be the way to go if you're looking to pick up some copies. And then besides this one, there's also, I think, another super rare as well. And then there's the ultra rare that came out in the Battles of Legend from this last year. Brothers of Legend, rather, is what it's called. Let's see, the super, that's one went over. And then here's the ultra rare from Brothers of Legend. So this is honestly a really good version to get as well. I think a lot of people will go after this copy because it's easy to get a near mint, and they're guaranteed near mint pretty much because it was just printed this last year. There's not a lot of time for them to get scratches, and you can easily get a play set for under $3, which is really, really good. You have Destiny Soldiers here for $2.50. I mean, I would just say no. This Destiny Soldiers is really not that old either. It is getting older, but it's not super old. Dark Saviors, $2. These are all super rares. Like I said, I would just stay with either getting the Brothers of Legend, Raging Battle, or the first edition lightly played Phantom Darkness copies. And then there is an ultimate rare as well, so we'll take a look at that. Okay, let's filter. This is probably spiking up pretty hard here, due to the same play. It's not, let's see, lightly played, near mint. I know first editions are going to be ridiculous, but did I click first edition? I didn't think I did, but 284 for lightly played, going up here to 500 for near mint. If you get this, don't play it. Just put it in a binder. It's just too expensive. I did not mean to click first edition though, so we'll just do unlim. Lightly played 100, near mint 120. I trust Super Games Inc. They've never done me dirty. So if you wanted to get the ultimate rare, that's not too bad. If you wanted Italian first editions, this guy's got 175 here for a playset. What does the Italian look like? I haven't seen a ultimate rare Allure of Darkness in a long time. Is that just a bad picture? Because to me, the foiling looks not too good here. Okay, yeah, it does look better when you get it into the light. Yeah, it's not a bad looking card. Condition looks pretty good here. Sakurasa, I know you like Italian cards. Might be a good one to come get. Moving on here, I wanted to cover Chaos Ruler. This is seeing play with the same engines that are trying to play like the hot red Calamity. But basically you're going to be playing this with like your P.U.N.K engine. And was like 13 when I mentioned to get this, because I figured it'd be a matter of time before either Dragon Link picked up in popularity again, or we saw something else utilizing this deck or this card specifically. But it's going for $20 now, which is pretty understandable. I don't think $20 is honestly overpriced for this. I wouldn't be surprised if this hits 35 within the next year. But the ultra rare is also going up to like $1.70 here. I'm going to refresh and make sure nothing's changed. I feel like this is kind of the next set of cards that are going to get a lot of attention. It's like the P.U.N.K Therion builds. $2 here, yeah, pretty solidly. 113 listings left though, so this is getting bought pretty heavily because if you look at the 10s, most cards have like around 275 listings because it was widely opened, because right when we got the 10s, it was very, very profitable, like insanely profitable to open for about a week and a half from like the first release, maybe 2 weeks total. And then everything just crashed out. Like I remember I was selling designators for like 125 a piece, which was crazy. But that small window of opportunity did not last at all. Let's see, sorry, get that out of the way. Next is Baron de Fleur. So I mentioned to get this at 106 because I thought it would get another buyout, just because it's an insane card and every synchro deck is playing this. You basically can't play synchro without playing this card. Like it's just the best card in the game right now for synchro, especially since we lost a Rorodon, so you're not really making Savage anymore. But these are going for 145, lightly played first edition. We'll refresh here because I haven't refreshed since this morning when I got these cards together. Oh, I also just realized I forgot to wear my headphones, so I'm sorry if it's a little echoey. Hopefully not. Okay, so it's calmed down a little bit, like 130 here for lightly played, and then bottoming out to 150, and then 175 at the bottom of the screen here. Only 8 listings. So hopefully you got it when you did, because it's probably too late. If you had a couple of copies that you bought at 106, I would probably go ahead and try to list one up and sell it for like the 140 range, especially if you have a near mint. Just go ahead and get rid of it, because I do think it'll probably calm down a little bit, maybe back to like 120, 121. That was oddly specific, but that's just what I pictured in my head. It was 121.99. All right, next is Contact C. I noticed these were down a lot in price, and you can get like bulk copies for like $1.30. I highly suggest that you just get a ton of these, like 15 to 20, because this card is really, really good. It's just format dependent, and right now it's just not that good. I know people have been trying to make it work, but it's really not worth it, this format. But it will come back. It always does. Exclusion, so not really a market watch card per se. This is more of just a tech choice that I thought was pretty interesting, especially for budget players that want to, kind of put some cheap spice in their decks. But I think I've talked about this card before, but when your opponent activates a monster effect in their hand, negate that activation. Then if they have any cards in their hand, you can discard one card from their hand of their choice. So basically, like I was thinking of Adventure Token, which obviously has kind of declined a little bit in play. But if your opponent was to activate Water Enchantress, which is very specific, like it's not like a situation that's going to come up in every duel that you play, but it could come up quite a bit. But you can negate that effect and then also make them discard another card from their hand, which is really, really good. Which could just be that card because it's already negated. Probably if you're activating your Water Enchantress, they probably are just going to discard that card from their hand, because then they can no, you can't activate it twice in a turn, never mind, it's still going to be dead, but at least they would have it for follow-up the next turn. But trying to think, I think that's how it works. Negates the activation, not negate the effect. I don't know. I'm bad at these types of things. I would have to look it up. But regardless, it could be a pretty cool card. I know TCG Player actually highlighted this as like one of the top 10 best cards that were in Dimension Force that you didn't know about, which I thought was cool that they recognized this card as well, because this is one of the first comments that I read when I came across this set, and just thought that it was super interesting. I feel like this is going to be one of those cards that gets bought out 10 years down the road. But I don't know, just check it out, maybe try it out, see if you like it. I'm not sure how good it's going to be, because, obviously it's a trap card. So if you can't really use it on your turn to counteract hand traps, but I guess you could use it later on for that if you wanted to. But I'm trying to think of how many cards really activate in hand, at least in the format right now. Like obviously, like Altergeist, you have that. I guess Eldlick if they're, you know, sending their Eldlick out of their hand. I guess there's a few, nothing in Despia that I can think of. Yeah, I'm pretty sure there's nothing in Despia I can think of other than just hand traps, of course. But and then also Sword Soul, I guess technically you would have Long Yon. I think that counts as an activation. But yeah, just an interesting card to maybe pick up a couple of copies for your you know, competitive staples or just staple binder in general. Sorry, I started rambling about that. And then for Taylor, we're going to go over the Hida, the Fire Charmer Blaze, Starlight Rare. Was around 250 not long ago, but we're seeing a spike in price here, almost completely bought out. 400 lowest listing and then bottoming out here to 500. Not surprised. I mean, it's just the Charmers. It's like one of the biggest modern collectibles for this game, like as far as a set, like the Charmer Starlight Rares. So I was not surprised to see this, and I was also not surprised, since we're here, to see Ozzy go up as well. This was also like 135 to 150 not long ago. Yeah, like see 150 here. And these are up to 220. These actually had come up to like 300. It looks like they've dipped back down. But if you want to pick them up, not too bad. I don't think this will probably always be the cheapest out of all of them, just because people don't care about this one as much. But the thing is, if you're going to be buying all the Starlight Rare Charmers, you're not going to skip on this one, like because then you just have an incomplete set, and I know that's going to bother the hell out of any collectors. But just because I'm interested now to see what's going on with the Charmers, I'm going to look and see what is going on with Dark specifically. I know the other ones are bought out; they've been bought out for a while, but this one is still highly underrated. It's not even underrated. Like, people know this is a really good card, but it's just underpriced. 300 lowest, you know, going up to 358. Yeah, unfortunately, it is a little bit more expensive than, say, like, well, it's just as expensive as Hida. No, it's still cheaper than Hida, but it's a little bit more expensive than the Earth Immovable. I can't remember what the card is called. We just looked at it. Because that one was at 220, but this is definitely by far the best Charmer, like, overall. So I do think this will end up being like $500 or $600 in the future. The set was not released that long ago, so we still have to put some time behind us from when this set was released. But I think by the end of this year, like, this card will definitely be hitting $500. Unfortunately, it's not as competitive now because you can't, you know, someone else's DPE because no one's playing it. But there's still so many dark monsters in the game that are really good. So it's still just going to be your best Charmer if you wanted to play a Charmer in general. But with that aside, that's all I have for you today. Thanks for tuning in. I will see you guys probably tomorrow or Friday with a market watch. I think I actually do have somebody coming to do some repairs for me tomorrow, so I might be busy. But thanks for watching, guys. I'll catch y'all next time.